Is everybody ready? Okay, good morning. Thank you for being here. Today is a historic day for MoDOT as we enter a new era of leadership within the department. After an extensive 4-month nationwide search, the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission has chosen a candidate for director of the position who possesses the vision and experience to lead the department to the next level of success. Someone who will serve the state of Missouri with integrity, sound judgment, and determination. I'm pleased to announce that the new director of MoDOT is Ed Hassinger, our interim director. Ed holds the bachelor's degree and bachelor's of science degree in civil engineering as a registered professional engineer. He has dedicated over 40 years of his life to the department to fulfill our mission within the state of Missouri. For the past few months, he has been serving as the interim director along with his everyday position as deputy director and chief engineer as well. So he's had a full plate. He's done an admirable job. He's done it honorably, and not only keeping the ship on course, but also making great strides in communicating with employees across the agency. Ed has consistently produced results that have made Missouri a national leader in project delivery, providing great value to each and every Missourian. Ed is fully aware of what is necessary and will deliver projects outlined in the STIP on time and under budget. He is committed to partnering with the General Assembly and industry partners to improve Missouri's transportation system. To go back on the topic that I just mentioned, Ed has a track record. This is something that's measurable, and he has done this over his time with MoDOT, which is an incredible feat in and itself. Ed is also committed to MoDOT's employees, their development, and their welfare. The commission feels a strong obligation to the many stakeholders in Missouri to ensure continuity during this time of unprecedented project construction and has prioritized on time, on budget execution of the historic number of projects that we currently have underway. That requires somebody who can hit the ground running with years of project management experience and a track record of fostering leadership development within the department. While we had candidates with solid skills and extensive experience, Ed is who we believe is best fit to lead MoDOT's future. And we are so happy and so blessed to have Ed in this role. And so with that, I'm going to introduce to you the next director, the new director of the Missouri Department of Transportation, Ed Hassinger.
So good morning, everybody. First of all, I just want to thank the commission, for putting the faith in me when they asked me to take on the interim role. They said they wanted a smooth transition. I said I would do that regardless of the outcome. And I can tell you, we're going to execute a smooth transition. I think it's just important to note that having a 6-person commission that is, they are private citizens that volunteer to lead this organization is something that we shouldn't take for granted in Missouri. Having that kind of leadership is why we are one of the best DOTs in the country, why we are able to have continuity, while we're able to have innovation. The commission supports that wholly, and that's one of the reasons that I sought the permanent job here. The other reason is because we've got a world-class team of folks here. If you look at our leadership team, many of them are assembled in the room behind you. This is the best leadership team in the country, bar none. And our frontline folks that are out there every day that are fighting the floods and doing the work are, bar none, the best and most dedicated state employees in the country. So I want to just highlight that we're building on a foundation here. Those that have come before us in commissions previous and leaders in the department that have built the foundation, we are standing on the foundation that they have built. And we're going to take that to the next level and deliver. I just want to highlight a couple of things that we're going to be focused on. The chairman mentioned that we have really a generational level of funding for transportation. That was developed over many decades of work, but now we're here at the federal, the state, and the General Assembly adding general revenue funds to MoDOT's coffers for the first time in history. We have to be accountable to that. We have to deliver that program, $14.6 billion 5-year plan, biggest that we've ever had at MoDOT in our history, and to be accountable to the citizens of Missouri, the legislature, and the commission to deliver that is one of the key roles that I'm going to have to deliver as director, and this team around me is going to do. I think the other thing that's important to note is we have a planning process in this state. We develop projects and we prioritize projects at the grassroots level, and that gets public buy-in. So all of those projects that are in that 5-year plan were developed regionally and locally, and now it's our job to deliver those for the citizens of Missouri. The other thing is we need to restore the operational capability of MoDOT. The people that are on the ground doing the everyday work, I call it the windshield issues, the things that people see when they drive down the road that we're not quite getting to. We've had a loss of over 2 million labor hours of work over the last decade. We need to restore that. The citizens expect that we're going to do those things. Their expectations are that their roadways look good, that they ride good, that we take care of those issues. But to do that, we're going to need some more resources. We have the resources available. We just need to work on getting those available and turning those into results on the roadway. We also need to do, while we're doing those things, we need to make sure that our team goes home safe every night. Our folks work in a danger environment. Our contractors that contract with us work in that same environment. We need to make sure that all of those folks go home safe every night to their families. That is a huge priority of the department that we have to deliver on. Also, we have to make sure that the public is safe when they're using our roadways. While we've had some good news, we're on track for 800 people to die on Missouri's roads. So some of the public policy and some of the things that we're working on with our partners across the state, we need to double down on those efforts and make sure that our system is safe for Missourians and all citizens that use our roadway. We need to make sure that we invest in our team. We have a great team here, but we need to make sure that we're market competitive. We need to make sure that we develop that team, that we give them exciting work to do, and that they want to come and be a part of the MoDOT team. We are in a good place right now, but we have work to do, and we're going to build on the momentum that we've created there. Just to talk a little bit about my experience and what I bring to the table, I've been with MoDOT for 40 years. I've done a lot of things in project delivery and operations. I've led our Hannibal district. I've led our St. Louis district. I've been the chief engineer for a decade and deputy director for the last 5. So I bring experience, but really that experience is the experience of working with a team. I tell people early in my career, I got to build a lot of great things. Now my job is to build the teams that build those great things. And we're going to work really hard to do that. I also have relationships around the state and around the nation throughout my career that I think will come to bear as we try to figure out how to be the best DOT, to innovate, to steal good ideas wherever we can find them, to bring them to Missouri so that we have the best DOT in the country. And I think we already do, but we're going to make it even better. I just want to take a minute. It all starts with the beginning, and a lot of the values that I possess were given to me by my family. Those things that you learn in kindergarten, that we treat each other with respect, that we look out for people less fortunate than us, and that we're always working hard and working to deliver for the citizens of Missouri. Those came from my upbringing, and my upbringing also knocked me back a few times when I got too full of myself. So being a humble leader is important to me. So with that, I am excited to be the next director of this department. I'm excited to lead this great team. I'm looking forward to working with the public, the legislator, and our commission as we move forward to deliver great things for the citizens of Missouri. Thank you.
So with that, open it up for questions.
How many applicants did you have, and was this an internal search through here, or you said national?
It was a nationwide search, and we had candidates from throughout the country that put in for the job. We interviewed half a dozen and had some, through that process, we had phenomenal feedback during those interviews that really we're going to take and shape. If you pay attention to the press release today, we're going to talk, which you're being handed right now. It talks about the Directors Advisory Council. This is something that the commission has tasked Director Hassinger with. It's got 6 objectives, and those 6 objectives are from feedback that we received during the open comment period for the director search, but also during that interview process that really is going to help us shape MoDOT for the future. So it's extremely exciting. So we learned the past 4 months, we have learned as a commission a tremendous amount about what Missourians want, what they expect, and how that we're going to turn around and deliver that to them.
If you said how many applicants, I was missing getting relates the number that you gave.
Yeah, we ended up having 12 applicants total. Yeah.
What was the commission's vote
For
deciding?
Oh, it was unanimous.
It was unanimous.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's his pay gonna be?
That's a personnel issue that we don't talk about and open for.
Previous director?
That's something that's a personnel issue. That's something that I'm not at liberty to discuss in an open forum, but thank you.
Well, I think you are. I don't want to get a tussle, but I think you can tell us how much taxpayers are going to pay.
I appreciate the question. I've answered it twice, and we're going to move on to the next question.
What was something that you looked directly for when it came to the director this go around? Was there something specific that really had to stick out?
Yeah, that's an outstanding question. So, yes, if we rewind back and look at the history of this state, go back to the 92 plan. There's expectations there. We did not deliver. Fast forward to where we were when we were hiring Director McKenna. We were looking for somebody revolutionary that could come into the department, that could shape and help us financially move forward with a program that was sustainable. Fast forward to where we are today, we've got a historic program in front of us. We have an investment that we've never had before from the General Assembly. That speaks volumes to this team that we have in the room, but also speaks volumes to the trust in them knowing that we can deliver. So when we come to this search, we were looking for somebody that we weren't going to have a repeat of 92 plan. Somebody that would come in, that would be a steadfast leader, that would have continuity within the department, that would lead the department, and most importantly, deliver on what we promised Missourians with the $14.6 billion STIP that we have in the chute. So that's what we were looking for, is that continuity and that person that could deliver. And when you look at the candidates that we had, Ed Hassinger, it's hard to argue with his track record up to this point. Yeah, so there's a document. What's the document that was put together?
Our 10-year
Yeah.
construction program.
Yes, our 10-year construction program. Can somebody in the room grab a couple of those, and we'll send that with you today. But what that shows, there's the exact number leaves me right now. I've got a lot of numbers running through my head, but it's almost I want to
$10 billion.
$10 billion in projects. But how many projects total? Was it 1,200?
4,000.
4,000 projects total. $10 billion under budget on time. So that's the track record that I speak of, is 10 years with him in the secondary role of chief engineer and then deputy director. That speaks for itself. He's delivered.
Is he officially starting today?
Today is his first day as director. Yes, ma'am.
So the legislature over the past few years has provided general revenue or surplus revenues to supplement MoDOT's budget.
Yes,
That's not the way things used to work in the past.
it is not.
The budget's getting a little tighter. Are you expecting that to come to the end, or do you think there's still some opportunities for additional general revenue to substitute, supplement what you're doing with?
Well, of course, that's at the end of the day, that is up to the leadership in the state and the General Assembly. What we're going to do on our end to help with that decision is ensure that we deliver. And by delivering, they will know, and I'm talking about state leadership, and I'm talking about the General Assembly, they will know and have confidence that if they do decide to put more general revenue funding towards projects, that they will be delivered for Missourians. So that's what we're going to do on our end to ensure that.
Are you requesting any additional general revenue?
Are we requesting any additional general revenue? Yes, we are. On the operation side, specifically, that's something that we have, on the operation side, one of the things through this 4-month process that we heard over and over and over again is we've got to do better on our operations. So from that standpoint, the feedback that we got, we're going to, during this legislative session, talk a lot about operations. You know, it's the window, the window items that the director talked about earlier. That is the deer on the side of the road, mowing grass, snow plowing. Those are the things that, yes, we have exceeded expectations on the project delivery side. But to do that, we've had to take away from our operations. So at this point, we're building that back up. And that's vitally important to the state moving forward to ensure that we have a system that is usable, that is safe, and that is clean throughout Missouri.
So you're requesting general revenue to pick up deer and remove snow, or what?
The operation side of the house. So I'm sorry.
What do you mean by operations? Is that what you talk about?
So two different sides of MoDOT's house, okay? You have operations, which is the folks, that's the folks that you see out every day. Our folks that are on the ground, that are doing the hard work of mowing, these are the crews that you see out and about. You know, the project management side, you don't see them. Those are the folks kind of behind the scenes. So specifically, the folks that impact a rider's experience on the transportation system, that's the operation side of the house. Any other questions? I mean, you look bamboozled here.
Just wondering, are you requesting money to carry out your operation?
We're looking for, no. We're looking for FTEs. Yes. Full-time equivalents to build that back up. Yes.
Recovered from COVID.
Correct. Well, and we're down about 2 million labor hours. And you look at that throughout the state, each and every person that is on this system has seen that impact over the last 4 years. So that's the side that we're requesting FTEs to build back up that operation side of the house to where we're meeting those expectations of Missourians and citizens.
Could I add a footnote?
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah. I'm Warren Erdman. I'm the vice chairman of the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission. We are going to seek FTEs to address the operational needs, but those are funded in the road fund. They're not funded with general revenue. So we're not here today seeking general revenue for operational needs. We're seeking to increase the number of full-time equivalents, FTEs. And that's what kind of the chairman was explaining here a minute. You want to add anything to that, Ed?
Well, I think, it's just need to understand that the commission has dedicated road fund money. And so the money is there. We're just seeking the authorization from the legislature to spend it on those items. So we're not asking for the money. The money's in the road fund. The commission has already approved the budget to do so. We just need to close the loop with the legislature so that, and I think there's a desire from the legislature and from really the citizens of Missouri that are telling us that we're not meeting that expectation. So we have put together a plan to do that. We've taken it to the commission. The commission has said, yes, we need to go forward with that. We need to close the loop with the legislature, and then we get to work doing it.
Director, I want to ask, we're knocking on winter's doorstep, and in the past couple of years, we've heard there's always been a shortage of seasonal workers. Can you talk about what that number is like, and what it's going to look like headed into the winter season?
Yeah, we're prepared for winter. Certainly, we still have that deficit in drivers for our trucks. We're tapping every resource we have. I will tell you the good news is the commission put in place the market adjustment a few years ago, and we have stopped the bleeding of folks leaving the department. And in fact, today versus this time last year, when we've been able to hire 200 more maintenance workers than we had last year. So we're in much better condition. Like to have another 200 on top of that. And we still are hiring kind of what we call emergency help that would come in just for snowstorms. That recruiting effort is going on as we speak. So I think we're going to be in good shape for this winter. Our team's prepared and we've got a plan regardless of what happens to move people around the state to address the issues as they come.
How do you continue bringing in personnel? I know that was a big struggle for MoDOT over a year ago, and I talked to Director McKenna about hiring on the spot when they did some of their job fairs. What needs to be done? Is it another pay raise from the General Assembly? How do you bring in more people to stop that bleed?
I think right now we've stopped the bleed and we're on a trajectory to get to every FTE filled by July of this coming year, next year, in maintenance. So we're on track to do that. Our team has put in extraordinary efforts, recruiting, going out and making sure people understand what the job is. Certainly pay has to be market competitive, and we need to continue to watch that because we're in a competitive environment. The same people that we're trying to hire with CDLs, everybody else is trying to hire too. So we have to watch that. I think the commission is in tune with that, and we're going to continue to work on that. But the trajectory is good.
There might be CDL drivers that want to offer and work over the winter weather operations, but they don't have 12 hours to give. Have you considered different shifts other than 12-hour shifts, and is that something you can expect?
I think we'll consider anything that will help us. To date, I think we've talked about 12-hour shifts because that's just how our operation runs. But certainly that would be something we could look at.
There are reports that Representative Sam Graves is in the running to be Trump's transportation secretary. I just want to ask, what would that mean for Missouri's relationship with the federal government?
Sam Graves has been a huge asset to transportation nationwide and definitely in Missouri. So that could be nothing but good news for Missouri. Yeah.
Do you have a plan to use more federal funds to not potentially get to that general revenue funding from the state?
We are using every federal dollar that's available to MoDOT. So we are getting all of our formula funds. It's really key that we raised the state gas tax because that was necessary for us to pull down every federal dollar. We make sure that we get every federal dollar. That would be malpractice for us not to do that. And then we also are competing for every discretionary dollar that we think we can get. And we've been somewhat successful in that arena, but there are no more federal dollars for us to go get. We're getting all that we have that we can get to. So we're laser focused on making sure that happens.
You've been doing this for 4 decades.
I've been doing it for 4 decades.
Is there a project in the state that you drive by or remember as being really something you look at and say, I'm glad I did that, or that was very challenging?
I think it depends on where you are and what project it is. They all have that kind of significance. I could name you a laundry list of those. I would say one that's probably pivotal in MoDOT and innovations is when we did the first design build project in the state. We did 2. We did one in Kansas City and one in St. Louis. The Icon Bridge and the I-64 rebuild. Those 2 kind of changed the trajectory about how we think about partnering with industry and giving maximum flexibility to get innovation. And that has continued throughout the last decade and has kind of morphed itself into a hugely successful process. And we just awarded a design build project for $600 million last week. So I would say that legacy has continued into some really good things for Missouri.
And
Linda says one more, so one more, this is one more.
All right, I'll try and make it worthwhile. He's been around long enough to appreciate, recognizing that you answer to this commission, to appreciate the fact that politics touches some state agencies more than it does others.
Yes.
At the same time, we have an incoming governor who has served on this commission. Does that make your job easier or harder?
I think it makes it easier in the fact that the incoming governor understands what the commission does and the relationships that we have. But I still think the commission, it's important to have the commission form of governance. It takes a lot of the political stuff out of road building and transportation in general. And I think a lot of other states would just be envious to have a commission form of governance. So having volunteer commissioners that are bipartisan, that are focused on the good of the entire state is a good thing. And that's why we've been able to be consistent in delivering projects. It's why we've been able to have a planning process that's grassroots driven. And it's why we've been able to have the space to innovate and provide great value. That's what I would say.
All right.
We'll turn it back.
Yeah, no, again, thank you so much for being here. Really historic day, and appreciate the questions and really look forward to what the future holds for Missouri. So thank you.